my whole thing is, like I said, I kind of like picked the fight that really was out my league when I started representing myself, But I took it personal because it was like they just kept giving me case after case after case I had nothing to do with. So my whole thing was, I was wondering was because, they want me to spend all my money up on lawyers and, for instance, like my first couple cases, I paid the lawyer $12,000 just for the preliminary hearing. Every case was held over for trial, so I was like, damn, they just trying to take all my money. So he was like, I'll give you $40,000 and I'll take all your cases. But there's no guarantee he was going to win them, and I was like, oh, these jokers just trying to take my money. So I kind of like took it personal and said, all right, I'll figure out a way just to beat these cases on my own. I knew I didn't do it, and I had innocent on my side. So, I just went in and said, man, I'm going to give it a go. I didn't know I was going to have that much success as far as beating them and, making them look bad. But at the end of the day, you trying me for stuff y'all know I didn't do. So, you deserve to look bad, Now, with the homicide, the stakes was a little higher because it was a death penalty case. But like I said, I knew I didn't do it. And I'm like, the case never made any sense from day one. You know what I'm saying? When I get my discovery, there's only 3 statements from 3 different kids who was arrested for gun cases and stuff like that. Now, mind you, all 3 of them made statements at 3 different times. So you think the first statement they did was somebody was supposed to have been an eyewitness, I would have been arrested. Wasn't arrested. The second statement, somebody was supposed to have been an eyewitness, I would have been arrested. Wasn't arrested. They went and got a third guy from a jail cell, right? Now, mind you, they go get him. They let him make the statement, everything. And the next thing you know, they put him on my block. All right, so I'm going to court for the preliminary hearing. I'm like, man, who the hell is these kids making these statements up on me? So I see this one kid, he walking in the building, like, youngin, where you going? He was like, oh, I got a case. Oh, yeah? So he going to court before me. So I go into court, but he on the stand. So they was like, did you say you seen Johnny Kane do this? Then you said, he was like, man, listen, I just did what the detectives told me to do. I never knew the dude. I didn't even know the dude. I was on the block with the dude. Didn't even know the dude was, So make a long story short, kid never knew me. They got this kid to make this statement on me because they figured that this kid make a statement, whether he be can or not. And Pennsylvania is so crazy because you would think Philadelphia, with all the corruption going on with the detectives and stuff, that they would record all interviews. To this day, they still don't record homicide interviews. And the reason why they don't, because in Pennsylvania is a case that states that if a person make a statement and he recant it, the Commonwealth can use the statement as substantive evidence. And that's more powerful than a person coming to court and testifying against you. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because now the Commonwealth can always say, oh, he's back in his element, he's afraid, he don't want to be known as a snitch. Now the jury can take the statement for the witness's testimony. And that hurts you nowadays.
Yeah,
because,
it do.
If you think about it, let me explain something to you. All 3 of these statements said I jumped onto the roof of a car and shot down into the roof of a car. You know what I'm saying? None of them said what really happened. The crime scene photo showed that it was 6 bullet holes in the driver's side of the car. So the perpetrator walked up to the driver's side of the car. He started shooting into the driver's side of the car. Now, mind you, the passenger and the driver both got guns in their hands. The driver gets hit by the passenger returning fire at the guy that shot into the car. Okay? So the driver, he shoots 2 times. Boom, boom. The gun falls at the floor under him. He puts 2 holes in the windshield. All right, the passenger shoots 18 times. 18 times. He hits the driver at least 4 times. And once he realizes he hit the driver, he shoots out the roof over top of the driver's head because he still wanted to keep shooting. He didn't want to stop shooting. So when the detectives see the car, the first thing they say is somebody has been on the roof of the car shooting at whoever's on the roof of the car. But that ain't what happened. They didn't even do their homework. Then they get rid of the car before trial. So I didn't even have the car to examine myself. I could only go off pictures from their crime scene unit investigator. You know what I'm saying? So when I start trial, I knew the case didn't happen like it was. So I'm thinking it's open and shut. So when the crime scene unit investigator get up there and he testified, he says, all right, all the roof shots are fired out. The 2 windshield shots are fired out. he gives an example on how he can tell when metal is pulled back that it was an exit shot. Then in the windshield, he gives an example. He explains to the jury that it's a concave on the outside of the windshield, which shows that it was fired from inside. Plus the fact that it was 2 shell casings related to the 2 windshield holes in the car. Okay? Now, mind you, this is the first trial. Everything's going good, man. The judge, I had a beautiful judge. His name was James Lineberg. And he was so fair. He kept telling them, I'm not letting y'all railroad him. I don't believe he did this. This dude came in, man, his deathbed, literally. He had to get rolled out the courtroom on a stretcher. And he told me, he said, I came in today just to get his charge because I didn't want no other judge to do it because try to get you railroaded. They mad you winning cases. So I'm like, damn, this is deep.
So a judge knows that.
Yeah, the judge said that. Literally, I'm right there looking at him leave the courtroom on a stretcher, and he give me his thumbs up after he get a charge.
Wow.
Like he never was on the bench after that. You know, so what happened, it was 11-1. It was one DA intern who held out. I mean, they back there arguing at her. The paper, they writing stuff out. They back there arguing. It took them 5 days. So I accepted the verdict. It was 11-1, not guilty. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll be cool. I'll get the same judge. But the judge never came back. So what happened was they gave me they put me back on the wheel, and I came up with another judge. Now this chick here, she's just evil. She let me know from the door, I'm not helping you. You don't know what you're doing. I don't know how you keep beating cases. I believe you're a murderer. I'm like, man, this bitch serious.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay. At the end of the day, my whole belief is, 1, I knew I didn't do it. 2 is, I believe in the jury system. So I'm like, she's not going to be the one to deliver the verdict, So I'm like, I should be cool. So I start trial, I'm waiting for this cop, the CSU board to come back and get back on the stand so he can tell this jury that it didn't happen like this and it should be an open and shut case. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, the prosecutor will call this dude. So I'm like, damn, why would you call somebody that examined the car? The only person that examined the car. Nobody else examined these bullet holes. He's the only one that did it. And you don't call him back? So I was like, okay, Yana, I like to call him. So she told me, you can call him, Mr. Harris, but you're not allowed to ask him nothing about the windshield shots. He didn't have experience to give you an answer on that during this trial. He made a mistake. So I was like, he made a mistake. So I called him back, I had to go around the windshield shots. So the jury come back and found me guilty of criminal conspiracy. They still hung on the murder, but I got found guilty of criminal conspiracy and weapon charges. I put it to the Superior Court reversed it. So now we got a third trial. So this time, we're back in front of the same judge again. This time I make sure I cover my doubts and I'm gonna cover my grounds, and I put a motion in. I put he should be able to testify to his own examination. So this time the prosecutor knew it would have been an error for them not to allow me to do that. So they call him back this time. Now this time he come back and he tell jury, I really didn't have experience to do windshield shots at the time, so I don't know whether they entrance or exit holes.
Wow.
I can't determine that. Yeah, wow. He said he couldn't determine it. So he basically he just took a risk with his whole career just to say, this is how much they want me to stay in jail. That he sits up there and lies to the jury and say, I don't know whether they entrance or exit holes. You know what I'm saying?
Did they give you a new investigator? They give you a new investigator?
No, what the whole thing was the car was gone. You know what I'm saying? So all I got is this dude's testimony. They destroyed the car before trial. So all I got is his testimony. Now mind you, they got a picture. So he was like, maybe he might get asked the fire identification unit guy. He might can say it. So I asked him, you know what he said? Oh, I can't determine off a picture.
Wow.
So it's like, they left me out there to drive, man. They just said, and not only that, the judge, she hates me, so she's making faces when I'm asking questions. Now, mind you, every trial I represented myself, and I was allowed to walk over to the jury bar like all the counsels do.
Right.
And I was able to relate to the juries and talk to them. This third trial, she wouldn't allow me to go nowhere near jury. I had to stay behind the defense table. Mind you, I had 4 prior trials, never had a problem with the juries, but she knew I was relating to them. Mm-hmm. So that was their way of keeping me away from the jury, because she don't want me to look in their eyes and they see honesty and innocence. So And she made the standby counsel who was helping me whenever I was to get caught up, she made him sit in the front row behind me where the spectators sit at. Like, how you gonna not let my counsel sit at the table with me?
Right.
So I knew it was serious, man. Yeah, I knew it was serious. I said, I picked the fight, man. These people say, listen, I don't care whether you did this murder, but you coming in our town, you trying to make us look bad, and we've been going to school for this for years and years and years, and you beating us, no more, And, I let my arrogance get in the way. I'll never forget, listen, I came back from one of the trials, and a black counselor, who was my counselor, black guy, he called me in his office, older guy. He said, listen, Kane, he said, listen, man, you doing good, man. I read all about you in the paper. He said, but let me tell you something, nigga. If you think them white folks gonna let you beat them at their own game, you got another thing coming. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm taking juries. You hating on me over here. 22 years later, man, listen, that sound echoes in my mind every day. You know what I'm saying?
I can only imagine. I can only imagine, bro.
Yeah, ain't no doubt.
I can only imagine.
And, like I said, I've been to every level of the courts. And nobody can explain to me, okay, you saying that this wasn't an error or this wasn't an error. But how can you keep somebody in jail? You got 3 statements. That's all you got. All 3 of the statements been recanted. These kids came to court time after time and said, I didn't really see this. The detectives told me this is what happened. I didn't really see this. One kid, every time he get probation violation, he'll go with the statement. But in his statement, he don't even know where the case happened at. He don't know which corner it happened on. He don't know nothing. All he do is know that the car crashed. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, man, it's just so crazy that I'm basically in jail for representing myself, beating DAs, at their own game, and all I was using common sense and innocence. You know what I'm saying? And that's it, that's what happened. 22 years I've been paying, man,
This is around what, the John Street era?
No, actually, it was like, I think she might have been in office. She might have been in office, yeah.
I mean, because we got a brand new DA here in Philly now, Larry Krasner, and from what I understand, he's been looking back at a lot of these cases. A lot of people got fired. Have you not been able to get through to them or, get them to look into it?
Well, I found an application to the CIU 5 years ago. Now, mind you, the Pennsylvania Innocent Project, they interested in my case. And they don't pick up no shooting cases, but they know it don't make sense.
Right.
But due to their, the volume of cases they got, it could be a while. But anyway, I filed to the Conviction Integrity Unit 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. To this day, nobody answered nothing. Nobody answered it. It's so crazy that recently just hired a lawyer, paid this chick $7,500, and all she did was basically put a rubber stamp on my arguments. And I was hoping maybe that might allow her to get the homicide file. Because really what we want is a homicide file. Because everybody in the city know who really did it. The person that did the case, he's working for the federal government. Like, this kid had the death penalty and 2 life sentences. He killed a 16-year-old kid recklessly for no reason. He killed a guy that he knew, his friend. He killed his friend by mistake.